Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy Justin. I'm gonna make a little video for y'all, a little strategy that you could use when it comes to trading news events, right? And I've seen a little bit of success with this. I've done it. I was actually introduced to this a long time ago. I actually tested it out twice last week, and I'm gonna test it out tonight after you guys see this video. But this is a video that you can go back to whenever you want. Just a quick example of how this really works. This is going to be a system where you're trading bigger news events, right? When it comes to trading pairs like, let's say, the GBP JPY, we know that when the GBP news comes out, it usually has a big candlestick move like this, right? Um, I'm going to teach you guys a little system that one of the people I follow, taught me a long time ago, but I never really took into effect. I never really used it. What they do is, the first things first is, you always want to make sure you know when the news is coming out, what to look for, and all that good stuff. And I'm going to show you that right now. The website I use for news is called forexfactory.com. Just type it in, refresh it. Once you're on, the first thing I would say is click this little time stamp right here, right? And then if you live in Central or Standard, whatever it might be, just Eastern, whatever it might be, click that, adjust it to your time. 6:08 where I live, 6:08 here. The second thing I would say is click the filter, and just remove the yellow and the orange. That's low impact, and that's mid impact, and that is bank holidays and stuff. We're just going to apply the filter to where we only see the red folders, right? So we can see the big next news event is the GBP at 3:30 a.m. my time. It's a retail sales We can click on it, get a little bit more information. The only things that really matter are the actual, the forecast, and the previous, right? It says if the actual is greater than the forecast, then it's good for the currency. That means at 3:30 when the news is released, if this number that comes out is bigger than this 0.2%, that means GBP should go up. If it's smaller, that means GBP should go down, right? And that's kind of how the news works. And a lot of people, they flood the market with orders off the news, right? Because that's all they know how to trade. One thing about news trading, though, is that the market makers like to hide behind the news. So, sorry about all these notifications. So the market makers like to hide behind the news. So they're going to impact the market as well, meaning, we have potential for a lot of pips, right? But it's just about knowing whether it's going to go up or down, right? So I would say the first step in the news trading is figuring out when the news is, right? Be ready at least 15 minutes prior to the news release. So if it's 3:30 a.m., be ready by 3:15. You're going to want to go back to your charts, and it's as simple as this, right? Pick your lot size. For me, I'm going to use a 5 lot, right? Just for this example. I'm going to close this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place a buy stop above the market price, right? Current market price is right there. Now I'm going to put a sell stop below current market price. And then from here, what we do is, I'll type it out real quick for you guys. What we do is buy stop and sell stop, 10 pip stop loss with 5 to 10 pip trailing stop. Boom. Let's move this over a little bit. So how we like to do it is, I use buy stop and sell stops with a 10 pip stop loss and with a 5 to 10 pip trailing stop. So what we do is, we'll click on our buy stop, we'll modify it, right? And what we're going to do is, we're going to take down our stop loss to about 10 pips, right? So boom. If I hover over it, it's 10 pip stop. Same thing with my sell stop. I'm going to put a 10 pip stop on this as well. Okay, so that's set. Last thing I'm going to do is click on the stop loss, right click, trailing stop. I'm going to add, it says 50 points. That means 5 pips. It says 50 micro points, right? So 50 is 5 pips. So I'll just go ahead and click that for that. And 50 for this as well. But you know what I'm going to do since it's a GBP pair? I'm actually going to do maybe like a 6 or a 7, you know, just because it gives it a little bit more room to grow. So I'm going to do a 70 trailing stop. So 70. Okay. Let me just double check. Trailing stop. Okay, they're good. So 70 and 70, right? And then, you know, you could even set a take profit if you want, right? Let's just put, you know, GBP news, it always moves like 100 pips, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually just drag up a 100 pip, you know, let's just say I'll just do like a 60, 70 pip take profit, right? Same thing on this end, modify, setting my take profit, and just for the sake of time, I'm just going to click and drag it. You know, I'll do like a 60, 70 pip on this end too, right? That's just because I know how volatile GBP news is. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my buy stop and my sell stop far away from the market current price, right? Up until it's go time, right? So if the market news comes out at 3:30 a.m., at 3:25, I'm just going to be monitoring it, right? And then I'm going to start bringing it closer in and closer in, right? I'm just going to keep bringing it closer. I'm going to go to the lower time frame. I'll be on the 5 minute, you know, sometimes even the 1 minute, right? When you're modifying this, you can't use a phone. You have to be on the computer. You have to be on your laptop so you can do the one-click trading and have the trailing stop. What I'm going to do is right at 329, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to where the stop loss is touching that candle from that end and where it's touching the candle from this end, right? And then boom, whatever happens, it's going to happen. Even if it fake out spikes down, right? If it spikes down like 20 pips to fake people out, because I have that trailing stop loss, I'm going to get some type of pips guaranteed that way. And then if it spikes up and goes in our favor, I'm still going to be able to go in and get pips that way as well, right? Or if it just goes straight up, right? If it goes straight up 50 pips, no matter what happens, I'm going to have my trade kind of protected, right? Because I'm using the stop loss. It's trailing the market too, right? So if this just slams down 30 pips, it's a fake out 30 pips, you know, it's going to lock me in at least 20 pips of that with my trailing stop loss, my stop profit at that point, right? And then if it just goes straight in my direction, I can delete the other order and then I'm good to go, right? What I'm going to do is tonight, I'll actually be trading live. So this is the example of how you set this up, right? Example of how you set this up. The buy stop, the sell stop, the stop loss, the take profit, how to look for the news. That's an example of how to do it, right? What I would say be the next thing is showing you guys a live demonstration. So tonight, I'll probably make a live demo of how to do this. And I'll make more videos about a bunch of different topics. But hopefully, I can get this out to you guys today so you can watch it and be ready for this GBP news with me. Alright, sorry guys, I forgot to add this. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to mention. You know, we talked about the buy stop, the sell stop, 10 pips, 5 to 10 pip trailing stop. You know, when it comes to risk, you're like, okay, well, how much should I be risking on these news trades? You know, news trades are trades that where, you know, you can make a lot of money or you could lose a lot of money, right? Just to be on the safer end side of things, you know, pick a risk percentage that you're comfortable risking. You know, originally I said 2% risk, right? Think about it. Let's say we have $1,000 in our account balance, right? We have $1,000 and we do a 2% risk. 2% risk means 20 bucks. That means you're going to be risking 20 bucks on a $1,000 account. That means your 10 pip stop loss is $20 lost, meaning you're doing a 0.2, right? So 0.2 lots, so $2 per pip. Well, you got to think about it. You're using a tight stop loss. You're risking $20, but let's say the news goes in your favors for, you know, 50 pips, 100 pips. That's $100, $200 you could potentially be making, right? Same thing with 5%, right? If you're doing 5% risk at your 10 pip stop loss, let's say we have a $1,000 account. That's $50 on our account risk. That means you're trading at a 0.5 mini lot, right? So 0.5 means $5 per pip, right? So you're risking 50 pips at your stop loss, but again, think about it. If it goes 50 pips, that's $250 you just made. If it goes 100 pips, that's $500 you just made, right? You can definitely go by percentages, or you can just go by lot sizes. You know, if you go 0.1 per $100 in your account, well, you know, if we have a $1,000 account, you're trading one standard lot, right? So again, at a 10 pip stop, you'd be risking $100, but you have the potential of making $1,000 if it hits your take profit of 100 pips, whatever it might be, right? As long as you're using the trailing stop, whatever profit you get, it'll be good. But follow these risk rules, and